Hello everybody, my name is FamousLastWords.
Oh yeah, I'm famous last words. So
Alright, so today I'm going to be asking Famous Last Words a couple of questions that are revolving around, a fan fiction, and it's fixed today. So, what is your take on all the generic ship fix on the site?
ooh, oh, uh-oh, okay. So I'm guessing we're referencing things like main six ships, Octoscratch, Lyra and Bonbon and stuff, correct? All right. I hate them. I think they suck for the most part. Um, Mainly because they're pretty much all the same. I think like back in 2011 and 2012 when there were a lot of original ideas. But since everybody basically does like the same thing nowadays, it seems like all the ideas are taken. So like pretty much it's impossible to write an original Octoscratch. And it really annoys me when people say like, oh yeah, well they have to be paired together because they're like perfect for each other. They have no canon personalities, people. They're not perfect for each other. For all you know, Lionel Scratch could be perfect with like Big Mac, and Octavia could be perfect with like Spike, you know. But no, you know, and it just kind of annoys me to see all these people basically writing the same story over and over again, and it gets pretty tiring. So I just kind of gave up on reading those probably about a year ago. That's my gist of all that.
Alright, so I guess the next question would probably have to be what's your take on the Spike fix? Like Spike being in a relationship with I don't know Twilight, Rarity, any of the main six, or just like the generic herd stories or harem stories that people tend to like to write in with.
Okay, this is something that's actually a big deal for me because I love Spike, and for the most part, I really don't care for how most people write Spike because I think there is definitely credit and merit into what people say when they say that he's like a self-insert for a lot of people. Because it seems like a lot of them will write him as like this really awkward, shy dude who inexplicably gets a lot of female attention, and they write him like he doesn't even know how to talk to girls, yet they like him anyway. That doesn't work in real life. I'm sorry. And frankly, Spike in canon knows how to talk to girls. That's all he does. So I mean, people instead of using that to their advantage, they instead twist it around to make him more like an awkward school kid, which he's not. You know, for all like he doesn't go to school. He's intelligent. He's smart. He's for the most part he's confident. But so a lot of them do use him as a self-insert of sorts. And then with these harem fics, like I think the first couple were kind of meant more as less of a serious story and more as kind of a just for fun kind of idea. But now they became kind of outreaching, and there's a lot of them. And for the most part, they're really annoying, kind of all uh, really poorly done. So I'm not a big fan of them either. And I think they are kind of disrespectful to Spike's character and to the other characters in the show with Spike. It makes them seem like nothing more than sex objects for him when he respects them a lot more than that. So that kind of annoys me to an extent, but you know, what are you going to do?
Right. Okay. So I guess that kind of like explains a little bit on how come like you didn't write. You probably wouldn't want to write Spike in that sort of way.
No, when I write Spike, I make sure to write him completely different, and I like to give him his own unique personality. Like, I don't really write him as a self-insert. I do incorporate qualities from my life and things that I've experienced into my stories, but I take his canon aspects into account. Like I know that he has good relationships with his friends, so and I know that he's relatively well at meeting new people from what we've seen. So I always incorporate that. I also like to take aspects of him actually being a dragon into effect. Like he's gonna live for a long time. That's a great story. That's a great plot device. and you can just do all kinds of things with them. The point is, I've had many people actually tell me they'll say they hate Spike usually, but they love the way I write Spike in my stories because he's relatable and he's not annoying. He's actually somebody you want to read about and you want to succeed, which is kind of a rare thing to find these days. So I definitely take pride in my writing of Spike as opposed to others, and I try to keep it different from the majority of the site.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Another question was, I noticed a recent story that you posted of kind of like poking fun at a lot of the stories and a lot of the writers on the website. What was that all about? What kind of like pressed you to do that?
Oh gosh, well first it started with, but it's so generic. I I think it was I was looking in the feature box and like on all of the top 7 of them were all mature stories and like really crappy ones, that really ridiculous ones, about Big Mac raping whoever, and then like the Cutie Mark Crusaders having like a sex orgy and stuff. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why the heck is stuff like this even popular? So I kind of just wrote a story about Twilight wanting to write a really epic story about Humdrum, who I referenced like to Spike. It was kind of like a whole analogy kind of thing, and I made it to where Spike over here, referencing that to get popular, you have to write stuff that people want to read, which is ridiculous pornos and stupid comedy and stuff like that. And I had a lot of fun doing it. So I wrote another one, which I published today, that went a step further and focused on the people actually that write them and how they assume that people that write Spike writers tend to be like overweight, neckbeard dudes with no social life. I've actually had a comment like that. I'm like, just 1 second. Do you see a neckbeard on here? No neckbeard. I'm in shape. Can't really tell because I'm sitting in a chair. And anyway, but I get a social life. Just I made sure to point that out and how ridiculous it is, and also called out a lot of the trolls for being pretty stupid. Because I hate trolls. Like if you're gonna troll my stories, I will give you one chance to leave, and then I'll report it because. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of promote like an awareness of my opinion on things without going too straight up. I had somebody tell me that this story is as literally as close to meta as you're allowed to have on the site anymore. Like if I take it one step further, it wouldn't have been able to pass moderation. So I was kind of walking a thin line here, and I expect to get a lot of butthurtness from different people throughout the course of the future. Half expected to lose some followers too off of this, but apparently not. All right, back to you.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I've read it. I've read it, and it's I thought it was hilarious because it really does kind of like point out a lot of the stuff that does go on in the site regarding all those stories and whatnot. I think I have like one last question for you, and that is, what are your future stories? Like any ideas, plans for the stories that you have for the future?
Okay. Well, I'm taking a shot in the dark, and I'm gonna try to finish up Heart and Vision 101 pretty fast because I really want to get the story done so I can focus on some other stuff. Once Tidal comes back around, we're gonna be working on Crystal Affair some more because I have a lot of people. That one actually just broke 4,000 views today, which is pretty good. It's only been out for a few weeks. And then I'm going to be working on a Spike and Derpy story coming up, which I'm really excited for. It's going to be like my first attempt at writing a really serious story, because instead of writing Derpy like mentally challenged retard, I'm actually painting it as more of a, I don't know, more of a kind of a intense drama romance kind of thing. I don't know. It's gonna be really fun. And then I'm also doing a Disparity story, because Disparity is the same thing as all those generic main stick ships. You can't do it unless you're going to make it original, or you're just following the crowd. You're just going to get walked all over, and nobody's going to remember your story. So I'm writing a really epic alternate universe original Disparity story. I also do plan on doing Spike and Lightning Dust. I have a one shot that's Mod Pie and Trenderhoof coming up next week for a contest, and then I'm also going to be doing Spike and Carrot Top with Avox. And with my friend J6, me and her are doing a Spike and Fluttershy. one shot within the next couple weeks too. So there's a lot of stuff coming out. I'm hoping to hit like 800 to 1,000 followers by the end of the year. That's my goal with what I'm writing. I'm gonna try to do it by keeping things my way. I refuse to sell out. Like I will never write a main six ship, and I will never write. Oh, that does remind me though. I am in the Twidash competition for Basie and Suri's Twidash thing, but my Twidash story is not going to be Twidash. It's going to be more or less Rainbow Dash and Twilight realizing that their relationship would never work. You know, it's going to be kind of like kind of like a slap in the face, almost. It's going to keep the Twidash-ness of it, so it'll be legal for the competition, but it's going to incorporate my views very heavily. And I'm hoping to win the competition, send a loud and clear message to the rest of the site.
Okay. Well, you heard it, everyone. This has been Cobalt Soundwave.
Oh, yeah, Famous Last Words, but you can call me Famous Last Words.
And this has been the interview. So long, everyone.
On the way.